Testing, 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 testing. 1, 2, 1. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Marauder Stadium, home of the Antelope Valley College Marauders. Tonight, September 10th, 2022, the Marauders will be taking on the Mount San Jacinto Eagles. And boy, do we have a matchup today. Two teams coming up against juggernaut opponents early on in week one. The Marauders facing down College of the Canyons Cougars, and Mount San Jacinto going face-to-face with a team that's been in the state championship for many years in this last decade, Riverside Athletics. We have a big game coming ahead of us. Caden Hinton, Amir Bankhead, and company will be taking on Mount San Jacinto in about 5 minutes. We'll see you guys in just a few moments. You're watching Week 2 action of the SCFA here at Marauder Stadium, brought to you in part by SoCal College Sports. We'll see you guys in just a few moments.
We started the Community Athletic Project back in 2018, and it was a way for us to give back to the community, the young people of the community. This golf tournament is this golf tournament gives us an opportunity to say thank you to everybody, to say thank you for being a part of this. Let's get out and have a good time playing some golf and have fun and enjoy ourselves and have a communal opportunity to say thank you.
And we got some perfect weather for it.
Absolutely. Last year we had 115 degrees. This year we're at 80, and it's beautiful and nice little breeze.
And we are about to get underway here at Marauder Stadium. Coin toss. And we see AVC winning the coin toss. They will defer and go ahead and get ready to kickoff here in just a few moments. Again, you're watching Marauder football here on SoCal College Sports. We have kickoff in just a moment, but the national anthem will be played in a few moments as well, so stick around, everybody. You'll be watching the national anthem and kickoff here at the top of the hour. And now with the national anthem. Week 2 action will resume now, and it's a beautiful day here in Southern California. A little bit of the tail end of the hurricane touching the Mexican and Southern California coast has reached its way all the way inland and into the upper desert here in Southern California. So nice, cool temperatures, a little bit different from what we saw last week, and a lot of cloud cover today. But that should be perfect temperatures and weather to get a football game going here on Saturday night here at Marauder Stadium. Once again, you're watching SoCal College Sports coverage of the 3C2A and SCFA football here. And what was touted as the main matchup of last year's events in the American Conference for the SCFA. Mount San Jacinto will now come back to Marauder Stadium and try to go 3-0 in the last 2 years. However, AVC with a little bit of a bone to pick, especially after last week's game. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight, but what a good night for football, and we are getting ready to get set and underway. Again, ABC winning the coin toss. They deferred to receive on the second, into the second half, so they will be receiving the football. Nonetheless, we'll get set to kick things off and get underway. Here we go. And we are underway here in Antelope Valley, returning around the 5-yard line, cutting back in towards the middle, and getting swallowed up and tackled around the 20, we'll mark at 26, 25-yard line. That's where the referees are standing. And we are underway. San Jacinto will get its first series of plays underway as they start out on offense. They've been led by one guy, and that's Robert Coleman. He's been the only quarterback to run out on the field, and he will do it again this week. Returning the football there was Matthew Caldera. Trips to his left, one to his right. Coleman handles the shotgun snap and hands it off on first down, and AVC strong in the defensive line last week and are going to go ahead and repeat that one more time over. It looks like Jalen McGee's the ball carrier here for Mount Jacinto. The Eagles not really coming in with that many yards from last week. That being said, again, playing against a juggernaut like Riverside. Tough ask week one for the Eagles. They had 343 total yards, so they're throwing all right through the air, but on the ground, only 63 total. Coleman throwing here on second down, rolls out towards the near side, looking downfield, throws over the middle, and finds a wide open receiver, and that was just an open receiver in coverage, and that was Talik Brown. And he was just completely wide open as he came streaking across from the slot. And he is the #1 receiver in the stat book as it stands right now. He had 6 receptions for 55 yards last week against the Tigers. Coleman out of the gun again, hesitates, throws to the right, and he's going to get swallowed up by the pocket as he chooses to run forward. I don't know if that was just him making a read and deciding to go forward, but he was right into the pile almost immediately. A little bit of a changeup of personnel. 2nd and 8 coming up here with 13-13 here to go in the first quarter. Coleman in the gun once again. He's got McGee to his right. 2-by-2 spread on receivers. Takes a 5-step draw, running towards the near side, looking for an open receiver. He's got tons of time and almost overthrows McGee. McGee down the near sideline, hurdles one and gets hit and thrown out of bounds around the 25-yard line. And another big chunk play here for the Eagles. Coleman running far side, throws into coverage, and another catch and grab, and that will be a reception on the outside, and that's Talik Brown again, his second reception for chunk yards again tonight. And they'll be moving the sticks. Eagles on the doorstep at this time. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, so they have a little bit of wiggle room to get a first down here. That being said, it is only 1 yard to go. And this Mount San Jacinto offense looking like it is firing on all cylinders. Trips receivers to his left, one running back to his right. Hands it off here on first down. Bounces off one tackle but gets swallowed up again deep in the pile. I don't think he had a gain there at all. That was Jalen McGee once again, ball carrier. Second and 10 coming up, so he didn't get anything. And again, that defensive line of Antelope Valley was really good considering everything that happened last week against College of the Canyons. So they'll go a heavy scent on the offensive line once again. Split backs, put one receiver in motion to the left. So one receiver out, and then you got the running backs running into each other, but a nice toss and throw, and that's a touchdown for Emilio Valencia, his first touchdown of the season, and he just walked right into the end zone. And he just, pretty tall man, just running on the outside corner from the far sideline. And that was easy. And they try to go for a 2-point conversion, and I apologize for being a little bit late there, but nonetheless. So 6 easy points on the board for Mount San Jacinto, and they made it look pretty quick going down the field the first time around. And remember, they fielded the football from around the 20-yard line initially. So good job of getting all the way down the field. A lot of time for adjustment here. We got 11:04 on the clock, roughly. And we will get set for Antelope Valley's first offensive possession of the season. Back to return for Antelope Valley is Kieran Benz and Robinson Reese. Reese handling most of the time with the football in terms of returns last week. He had a couple really nice ones as well, almost returned one for 6 points. And a little bit of a personnel mix-up here on the field for the Marauders. Nonetheless, we'll get back and ready to go underway here. Jacinto kicks over towards the right side. Reese will be the one to take it back. Takes it from the far sideline, cuts towards the inside hash. He keeps coming towards this booth, and he's got a wide open hole. He's going to make his way all the way down. Gets hit and thrown down around the 48-yard line of Mount San Jacinto, and a great return to start things off. And if that doesn't give you any hope, that should. Man, what a great job by Reese. I mean, powerful running and just finding the hole and punching straight through it. What a great job. You cannot complain about that whatsoever. So last week was a little bit of a tough one here for the Marauders. Nonetheless, Caden Hinton bringing his team out onto the field once again alongside Amir Bankhead. Bankhead doing a lot of the work on the ground with his legs last week. Fakes a handoff, and we immediately go through the air here on first down. Running and trying to get through any type of hole is Robinson Reese, who just returned a football for, we'll call it almost 40 yards. So right back into action. It's 2nd and 5 coming up, so he's got a 5-yard gain. Hinton clapping his hands, trying to get the football to go in motion. Hands it off to Bankhead. No, Hinton keeps it himself, and he's going to be all the way up towards the first down marker. I think it was a little bit shy, but they might mark him forward with forward progress. Yes, they do. Call the chains forward all the way down to now the 30, we'll call it 7-yard line. Hinton moving the offense with a little bit of momentum here, and this looks good from ABC. They're moving the football, seem confident this week. Back into a rhythm. Hands it off first down. Bankhead hits a wall but bounces off it and keeps running. He's got his feet underneath him, and he's got 5 yards. We'll call it 4, and that's going to be a nice little pickup there on first down after he was hit with contact. So a great job by Bankhead. 2nd and 6 now coming up. See, Jacinto was not in position, not ready to go. Reese makes a jump back and kind of makes a move trying to go forward, and he's going to lay down around the 20, we'll call it 8-yard line, and they will call it over. That is a first down, and Reese is able to get the football past the first down marker once again. Mount San Jacinto not really coordinated here on defense here early on in this first possession for ABC. Hinton kind of at the reins doing things well, and there's going to be a flag down. There was players not set, ready to go. We can watch this back. If you look on the far sideline, you didn't have all your players set before they snapped the football. Yeah. So that's going to be a false start on the offense. That's about as cut and dry as they come. So the first stall out for Antelope Valley College. Now, penalties, 5-yard penalties, small little penalties in key situations was one of the storylines from last week. So minimalizing those mistakes is going to be very important here. 1st and 15 coming up here for the Marauders. Hinton out of the gun, runs forward. And he's got a wide open space in front of him, barring no holds. He's going to have a first down, drops the football, and it's going to be picked up and landed on top of by Kieran Benz, who is luckily in the area. Well, let's watch that again, because my goodness, that was a scary moment. You watch Hinton take off. He's got nothing going on in front of him, and he's finally hit and contacted, and just a nice job of trying to poke the football out, but Ben's just luckily able, because he was out in the field trying to get picked up on a throwing play. But what a great job, heads-up play from Ben's. And that's going to land the football all the way down to the 8-yard line. In the pistol formation, they put 2 big men in front. Hands it off. Bankhead running near side. Will he have an angle? He does! No, he's going to be marked out by the referee on the near side. We're going to go ahead and see if we can pull that back again. I want to see how close he was. We had a camera right there in the action. Rush into the end zone, touchdown! But a flag is down again. Bankhead was in the end zone. We're going to see what the flag was for. And there's going to be an illegal block below the waist. You can hear it on the microphone. The referees were yelling it out. Touchdown, Bankhead. And that was a great job by the Marauders to run into the end zone. We'll watch that one more time. So the Marauders running the quick set there, just trying to catch everybody off guard. Bankhead runs in, and you have a couple Jacinto players going low with their tackles. Nonetheless, 6 points on the board for Antelope Valley. Make it 7. Yes, there it is. Through the uprights, and Marauders strike back almost immediately. 8:07 on the clock here, and we have the Marauders leading by 1 after, well, what was a very, very quick here first quarter. It is 8:07 left to go here in the first quarter. You're watching SoCal College Sports and Marauder Football. And the Marauders are going to kick it off here. And this football lands inbounds, and it's out of bounds now, so that's going to place the football all the way down onto the 35. As the Eagles will get set to go on their second offensive possession of the game. Now, they had a good time down the football field the last time on the field. We'll see if the Marauders are able to make any types of changes here. Again, the defensive line looked really good. It's just a matter of figuring out the secondary and trying to understand where receivers and crossing patterns are going to try and trap you. The front line of the Marauders did have a number of bat downs and sacks last week. So it'll be something to absolutely pay attention to going into tonight. Three interceptions last week. So we will get underway. Ball is placed on the 40. Check that. First snap, hands it off to McGee. McGee, right side, swallowed up after a gain of 5 yards all the way up to the 45. Second and 5 coming up. With a stat like 343 total yards, Mount San Jacinto can move the football. So this is going to end up being who can become really clutch on defense really quick. Coleman, split backs, hands it off again. McGee, right side, and he's going to have, no, he's down march a yard shy. He did lunge forward, but he was down a yard shy at the 49-yard line. And sports fans, if you're wondering, we are broadcasting on the Coast Sports Network as well as SoCal College Sports. Multiple platforms available for all of you guys. Split backs once again. Coleman sends a man in motion. He hands it off, trying to get that first down, and the bruiser back, Jalen McGee, definitely gets the first down this time. 3-yard gain on that play down to the 48 of the Marauders. So, first series, a positive one there on third down. Marauders holding tight on third down, not allowing too many free yards, but enough to get the first down. And that first series was all by the way of Jalen McGee. And at this point, you got to be wondering who is going to be throwing the football and when. Or when is Coleman, more so, going to be throwing that football. Back to his right side, goes to throw here on first down, hits the man who had the touchdown earlier, and Valencia all the way down to the 30 will mark it 6 with the first down as well. 6:05 on the clock, ticking down. And the Eagles moving quickly as well. Not quite as fast as the Marauders' pace in the last drive, but nonetheless, another first down. Line to gain will be the 26-yard line. One tight end in, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back to his right as well. Hands it off here on first down, and McGee is going to be swallowed up quick. And he's going to have a gain of, they'll mark it 1, but he hit the pile and was basically met by a number of Marauders who just gang tackled him. So no real forward progress outside of the 1 yard. 2nd and 9 now coming up. When you figure you give them enough time, that defensive line is just going to figure it out here for the Marauders. Man in motion. Split backs once again. Throwing here on 2nd down, and that football was thrown well behind Valencia. And that was a design play. I don't think they had the proper read here. Coleman looks like he's throwing to a completely different spot than his wide receiver. We'll watch this back on a replay. But he's just throwing to the completely wrong spot. Third down and long coming up, and this is the first serious test here for the Marauders defense of the night in terms of third down situations. They got 1 high safety, mark that 2 high safety. Throwing here on third down. Coleman under pressure, he's going to run forward. Still has time in the pocket, overthrows his receiver, and that was an opportunity. He could have hit Amelia Valencia, but we'll go ahead and watch that again. 4th down coming up. We'll see what they choose to do. And I still see Coleman out on the field. We'll see if they try to go for it on 4th down or if the special teams unit is going to run out. And Coleman looks like he's taking directions from the coach on the sideline, and he just overthrows. Check that. That's Taylor Torches, not Valencia. I apologize for the misidentification there. Going for it on 4th down here. Questions would then begin. What is going on in the kicking game here for San Jacinto, or are they a 4th down go team all the time? Throwing here on 4th down, trying to throw over the middle, and they hit a receiver, and they do it with a little bit of pain. Talik Brown blown up there on the play. And a first down coming by way of a nice catch and reception here. Well, new set of downs at the 20-yard line. The game will be the 10. Coleman, 2-by-2 spread again, throwing here on first down, rolling out towards the near side. We're going to see if he tries to shovel pass. No, he's going to keep it, stays on his feet and avoids 1 tackle, and he makes it all the way down to the 6, or we'll call it 14. Another nice run here for the Eagles and Coleman. So opportunity missed here for the Marauders defense. 2nd and 4 coming up. Coleman trips receivers to his right. Throwing here on 2nd down, throws and hits his receiver, Brown. And Brown will have enough for a first down, they'll call it forward. So now 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. And a big situation here for the defense. 3:15 now ticking down. Two receivers to the left. One extra man on the offensive line working as a blocker. Throwing far side on the end zone, and a flag immediately out, and you're going to have a flag in the end zone now. We'll see if they call pass interference in the back of the end zone. That's usually what these kind of calls look like. Well, there might be a push-off there, so this could be offsetting penalties. We will see. So they call a pass interference against the Marauders, but there's 2 flags out on the field. Well, we will see here on how this works out. So the ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. So a bad break here for the Marauders. There's a little bit of a push-off there at the end of the end zone. I thought there was a flag for that, but was not called. Heavy set, and Coleman will be under center here. Hands it off, and stood up and crushed at the line is Matthew Caldra. He went nowhere. He just kind of flipped over the line. Great job by the defensive line of the Marauders. So here we go again. Heavy set on the offensive line. Toss to the right side. Caldra, ball carrier again. Hit and crushed at the line, and they stand him up again. Nowhere to go, and Miles Cooney making a big tackle, and there's a flag down on the play. We'll see how the laundry is sorted out at this time. But that was a big, big play by Caldra. Potentially a penalty for a hold. We'll see how this shakes out. 2:06 now on the clock. Referee still conferring over there. Looks like a pretty big conference given how long it was. We'll see if they get through this soon, and it looks like they do. White hat is coming out. So you're going to have multiple penalties against both teams. And I'm not exactly sure how this works out in terms of the placement, and if this is just a completely dead. Now, it looks like the Marauders are going to be called for a chop block violation, which was called on the other side, or a block below the waist more so. We're still probably actually figuring out exactly what down and exactly how to play this. So they are now running the game clock. Things are back to normal, so it's still 2nd down, but ball is placed on the 1-yard line. That's a bad break for the Marauders because they had him stood up twice, and we were looking at 3rd down and 2. Under center they go. Coleman looking to go somewhere, and he gets hit and crushed immediately at the line. Another strong defensive play, and that might have been a loss of yard as they're going to bring it back to the 2-yard line. What a huge play by the Marauder defensive line there. Coleman just ended up with nowhere to go, And flying through the defensive line there was a number of Marauders. And a huge opportunity for third down, but doesn't look like Mount San Jacinto is going to be trying to kick any field goals here. Clock is running here in the first quarter. So realistically, 2 downs to go for the defense, and it's time to hold strong. When will they try to throw it? In the gun, Coleman has McGee next to him. One receiver out, and he's got it bunched on the right side. Handles the shotgun snap, high snap, hands it off to McGee. McGee hit and brought down at the 1-yard line. Hit and brought down at the 1-yard line, and you see a number of Marauders celebrating, but don't get too quick. We'll see which element goes out on the field, and it is the special teams unit. So a huge play on defense to prevent any points from going on the board that would represent the number 6. And we have the kicking team out. Out to attempt his field goal is Nathaniel Peterson for an 18-yard field goal. Ball is placed down and up, and they'll call it good. Well, a huge job by the defense of the Marauders to stand up the Eagles on third down, and that defense should be running back to the sideline, head held high. 7-9, Mount San Jacinto leads it, but by the smallest margins here in Marauder Stadium. We'll be back in just a few moments. And we are about to get underway once again. The Marauders will have their second offensive drive, and we are still in the first quarter. Reese receives it far side around the 10-yard line. He's going to be breaking up and not going to have the same reception he did last time. Makes it all the way up to what we'll call it the 24-yard line. And I have a referee standing at the 25, so we'll mark it at the 25. Time to get things underway. A second drive, and I'm excited, almost too excited to watch this next drive. 16 seconds remaining here, or we'll call it 15 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. And the ultimate summary is that Marauders defense does work, does do a good job. It's just a matter of figuring out some of these big chunk plays, but man, they're doing a great job on the defensive line. And that was our remark from last week. Hinton will be out of the gun, trips receivers, puts one in motion, hands it off. Running towards the near side, Reese, he broke free, he's got room in front of him, and he's going to be hitting out of bounds and celebrating for a first down, throws it to the referee, and we'll mark him first down all the way down to the 46-yard line, and what a way to go. And that will be the end of the first quarter. You're watching Marauder Football on SoCal College Sports and the Coastal Sports Network here at Marauder Stadium. We'll be back in just a few moments. Second quarter ready to go, and ABC is driving here at Marauder Stadium. The lights are on and now starting to beam down onto the field. That doesn't change anything. Hinton out of the pistol, hands it off. Bankhead finds a hole in the middle, and he bounces off, drops the football, but he's up quickly back on top of it. So 1st and 10 tragedy all avoided there. And he's up to the 50, which will make it 2nd and 6 coming up. Scary moment if you're a Marauder fan. None to fear. Bankhead lands right on top of it. 14:34 here to go. Reese in motion. Fakes a handoff. Goes back to Bankhead. Bankhead towards the far side. Breaks a tackle, and he's all the way down to the 35-yard line. Another big first down pickup from Bankhead. And if I could say if there's one major note, it's about getting Bankhead in motion, and he was doing a good job last week, and he's back into it this week. So 1st and 10 from the 35. Keep giving that man the football. 2 receivers out to the left, and it seems like they have really good luck putting Reese in motion there from the slot. Hard redirection to figure out here. Reese hands it as he's in motion from the slot receiver position towards the near sideline. He's not going to make up any territory. He's going to be hit and brought down. He was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to be one they want back. 2nd and 10 coming up from the 35. And from the near side hash, Hinton out of the gun, has Bankhead slightly off to the left of him, hands it off to Bankhead. Bankhead up the middle, fighting for some more yards, and he keeps churning forward another couple yards out of that, and he makes it all the way up to the 31-yard line. 3rd and now 5 coming up. Check that, 6. 3rd and 6 coming on the way. 13:09 on the clock left to go. And a big 3rd down situation to convert here. We'll see if John Henderson has that many yards in his foot. But throwing here on 3rd down and throws it behind it, almost throws an interception. Hinton, ill-advised throw. And we'll see which special teams unit makes its way out onto the field. This is one of those weird positions where you can't exactly throw, or you can't exactly kick a field goal if your kicker doesn't have the range. And they're going to keep the offense out on the field for now. Hinton still on the field, 4th and 6 coming up. 2-by-2 spread. We'll see if they try to draw the penalty. 20 seconds here on the play clock. Nope, they'll snap it. Hinton under pressure immediately, running towards the near side. He's going to be hit and brought down. That's going to be a turnover on downs, and ABC not able to convert. So that is a bad situation for the Marauders. Seven to 9 the score. And I don't know what the game plan was there. But Hinton was almost immediately under pressure from the moment he snapped the football, and it didn't look like anybody had a game plan the moment the football was snapped. Eagles back out on the field. Split backs here for Coleman. He's got 2 receivers out to his left, 1 to his right. Puts 1 in motion, goes and throws, almost tapped into the ground. Making a move is Caldera, and he's all the way down the sideline, down to roughly the 45-yard line. We'll see where they mark him down. We're out of bounds, but that was a big chunk play. And the Eagles quickly moving. So they'll mark him down all the way back at the 49 of the Marauders. Split backs once again. Might have identified something a little bit challenging about this formation. Throwing here on 1st down. Throws to the far sideline. Making his first catch and grab of the season. It's going to be Matthew Hicks. That is his first reception of the season. That'll be a 4-yard reception. Welcome to the 22-23 season, Mr. Matthew Hicks. 2nd and 6 coming up here. Line to gain will be the 39. Split back formation once again. They have just offset receivers on the near side, 1 spread out wide on the left. Putting a man in motion. Coleman looking to throw over the middle, and he finds an open receiver again. He's got Emilio Valencia. For a 1st down to the 33-yard line. Eagles No problem moving the football now. 1st and 10, line to gain will be the 23. 11:06 left to go here in the first half. Coleman out of the gun, throwing into the slot. And hammered. Hit real hard there. Was Matthew Caldera, more so. We can watch this back. He gets absolutely crushed here. 2nd and 4, though, coming up. Fought for every single one of those yards. So he throws to him out on the flat there in the back end and just get absolutely pummeled working your way through. Anything to fight for those yards. Puts Caldera out in motion again. Quick off the rush. He has time to throw. Throws it over the middle and has the first down. Taylor Tasha's able to get it all the way up to the 20-yard line. So 1st and 10, and they're back into the red zone very quickly. And this Eagles offense doing a good job of moving that football onto the 21 more so. So just outside on the doorstep of the red zone. .57 on the clock. Out of the gun. Hands it off here on 1st down, and they've kind of been waiting to do this for a while, and this is Jalen McGee's first action in a little bit. Able to get 3 yards, but again, defensive line, pretty easy pickup there, 2nd and 7 coming along. Again, line of game will be the 11-yard line. So into the red zone the Eagles go. And this is where the Marauders defense stood tall last time. Will they be able to do it again? Coleman. 7-step drop way back there. Running out of time, jumps over a defender looking to throw into the end zone and almost intercepted. Almost intercepted, and that was a very close one. This is what happens when you're trying to make a play happen. You watch Coleman, he looks immediately to his right, starts backing up and trying to throw, jumps and avoids, does a great job avoiding, but throws back across the middle of the field, and that was to what could have been an open receiver, but almost an ill-advised pass. That was very close to being picked off. Couple cornerbacks in the vicinity or safeties more so. Cameron Carlisle was the man who was in the way, but we'll watch that back one more time. You watch Carlisle in coverage, realizes that there was an open receiver, and the moment the football is thrown, you see him streaking back across, and he almost has that football. I mean, that football is thrown well out of the range of the intended receiver. And a timeout is called on the field. So we'll return in just a few moments. You're watching SoCal College Sports and the Coast Sports Network's coverage of AVC Marauders football. We'll be back in just a few moments. Are back after that timeout. 3rd down in a big 3rd down situation here for the Marauders. On defense, drops the football, and he is immediately marked down. Talik Brown almost makes a fatal mistake there. We'll watch this back again. Wow, what a huge, huge almost mistake that was. And we'll see which team ends up on the field. And we'll see special teams again attempting a 35-yard field goal. So Nathaniel Peterson has his work cut out for him for now. Kick is up and no good. So the defense holds tall for the Marauders a second time around, and the offense is going to be coming back out onto the field as the ball will be turned over. A great job by the Marauders defense. That was a whole unit job there. 7-9 the score, 8:40 on the clock. And if you're the Marauders defensive unit, you got to be happy with that performance there. That's two really, really quick drives for the Eagles, but no points on the board the second time around and only 3 the first time around, at least in the last 2 drives. Heavy set out again here for the Marauders. Bankhead to carry here on first down. He's going to be met by a number of Eagles. But he's able to scrape out 2 yards, which, given the contact he received right at the line of scrimmage, does a good job of getting that football out there. And, that's one of the things we've watched on both sides of the game tonight. The Eagles done a really good job of getting yards after contact. Bankhead saying, I could do that too. Trips receivers out to the right, one to the left here for Hinton. Puts Reese in motion. Reese, the motion man, getting hit and brought down behind the line of scrimmage, and a loss of 4 on the play. And that's going to be one they want back. They tried to go for it again. They had a little bit of success last drive, but it appeared that they've kind of picked up on it here in terms of the coordinator's office that's sitting right next to me. You can see the coaches with the headsets on, making all kinds of tactical changes and adjustments. Ooh, but there's a penalty flag out on the ground, and not exactly sure. It's a 10-yard penalty, so we might have had a defensive hold or something of the sort. This broadcaster missed it, so you guys saw it, though, on the other hand. Well, second down comes and goes. And making his first run of the season is Q Allen, who had no snaps last week. Q Allen back on the field. So, able to get a first down. How about that? Welcome to the SCFA, Q Allen, at least for this season. He is a sophomore, played last year. Looking to throw here on first down. Finds Reese on the far side, and Reese able to work up a couple of good yards, and we're going to have a flag. And I believe it's going to be a hit after he was out of bounds. Let's go ahead and roll that back. And yes, it is. Yep, that was a little bit ill-advised. It wasn't necessarily a malice type contact. That was just more or less James Searcy seeing him there. Searcy seeing him there on the end corner there, number 47 for the Eagles. He saw him running out of bounds. He was like, you're in the way. I'm going to push off of you just to keep myself from running into the line, or at least the lineup of the Marauders. But nonetheless, you cannot make contact no matter what you do with the guy, especially if you stick your arms out from your body. And here we go. First down and 10. Hinton keeps it. He's got a hole, and he's running towards the far side. He's going to find some more space. Makes a stiff arm move, and he runs out of bounds with another first down all the way down to the 37-yard line. And another great first down pickup here for the Marauders. I mean, what can you say? They are moving the football again. I mean, with the exception of last drive where they just ran out of downs, I thought they should have kicked the football. Henderson could have done it. He had a long of 47. He definitely was within his range. They choose to go for it on fourth down. It didn't work out, but this time, first and 10, throwing towards the far sideline. He's going to be out of bounds. I don't think that's going to be a complete pass, and they will. They'll mark it out. But I think that was Kayron Benz on the outside corner. We'll see. Check that. Shamir Washington So not able to get his feet in time. Did a good job of getting to the football. 2nd and 10 coming up here from the 37-yard line. Hinton out of the gun and chooses to hand it off, and that was a little bit of a question mark on whether or not he was going to hand it off for 1 yard, but he does. Q Allen able to work his way up. So Q Allen in at running back for now. I'm kind of looking on the sideline, seeing where Bankhead is. Bankhead is over here on the sideline, so maybe they see something that Allen is going to do, or they're trying to give Bankhead some rest here. Waiting to go in. Reese in motion. Hinton under pressure, throws over the top of his offensive linebacker. I'm not sure who he's throwing it at. We got 3rd down coming up. Or check that. That was 3rd down, so we're going to see 4th down coming up. And I'm not sure what the plan was there. 4th and 9, and we're going to have, the kicking unit come out, whether or not it's a punting or kicking, and we're going to see the punter come out onto the field. So John Henderson's going to be attempting to punt. He'll be standing at the 50-yard line, and we'll have the return unit for the Eagles back out onto the field, and that was just another stalled drive. The Marauders on offense trying to figure something out here, but it seems like their 3rd down plays have not been up to task. 1st and 2nd down, no struggle, but 3rd down, if you can't convert, you're not going to be going very far down the football field. Henderson attempts a punt. Oh, and it's a good one. It's a good one, and it rolls all the way down to the 1 yard line, and they're going to pin them deep. Marauders defense with a huge task here, and if they can do it, that could be potentially 2 or 6 points on the board for the Marauders. We'll see in just a few moments. You're watching Marauder football on SoCal College Sports. Back into it here, and we have the Eagles backed up all the way onto their own 1 yard line. Coleman taking the snap in his own territory. He's hit. He's going to roll and escape towards the right side and overthrows his receiver, but that was a very close one, and we'll see if we have this. But this was a dangerous moment avoided by Coleman as he tries to hit his receiver, Emilio Valencia, and you see his shoulder pad drug. And that pass is just overthrown. Valencia not quite tall enough to get to the football. But this football will still remain, we'll call it the 2 yard line. I thought he had it on the 1, but it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 2. 2-by-2 spread. There's no split backs here. You'd imagine with how much they were running the football, they might want to run the football here in this situation. Nonetheless, out of the gun, under pressure, throws long towards the near side, and that's well overthrown. His receiver was around the 35. Football landed around the 45. So nothing going on there. So an incomplete pass, 3rd down from the 2 yard line. And this is a dangerous situation. You have to get some yards to back up your punter if you're not able to convert here. But 3rd and 10, nonetheless, with 5:10 on the clock here. And this could potentially be a really good opportunity for the Marauders to get back on the field in good field position. 7-9 is the score. Coleman, huge situation, has to do something for the Eagles. And the Marauders putting all the pressure on him now. Here comes the pressure, rolling around inside. He's going to have a receiver open, and he does hit Brown, and Brown is going to be knocked out of bounds, but that's not going to be enough for the 1st down, and we'll see if they bring the punting unit out. They've been willing to go for it on 4th down, even in bad situations, and here comes the punting unit for the Eagles. 4th and 2 to go was where they called it back. Gosh dang. And this is one of those you kind of have to punt, and you better hope that your long snapper is going to put it right in the hands of your punter. And you have Connor Meltzer out to punt for the Eagles. punt almost blocked, and there's going to be a flag. That's a tough break. We'll have the replay on that now. But that is a tough break. No, well, you're not going to get it on that angle, but we'll get it here one more time. And that is a tough one. Meltzer just waits a little bit, and he's bumped into and drops onto the ground like a dead fish. And that is one of those situations that you just do not want to relive if you're a Marauder fan. So that is a 15-yard penalty, and we'll move the football up. Check that, 10-yard penalty. Check that again, 5-yard penalty. We'll just decrease by 5 yards every time I make an assumption. Place the ball on the 14-yard line, and the Eagles get away with a big one here late in the first half. 4:10 to go, and we'll have trips receivers to the left, one to the right. Now, the Eagles switching things up here on offense. This is the first time we've seen them run more of a receiving-oriented offense as Brown makes his way up along the far sideline. And he'll have enough for a first down. We'll see if they call it. And they'll mark him down just a yard shy. Line to gain. No, check that. It'll be first down. That's what I thought. Sometimes hard to see with these angles. The viewers online, you guys could probably do a better job than me spotting this stuff sometimes. Nonetheless, we get back into it. Trips receivers to the right, one to the left. Coleman slaps his hands together, hands the football off. McGee working his way up all the way up to the 35-yard line, and he has another really good gain. Line to gain would be they're going to call a first down. I don't think that was a first down. That was a pretty bad spot if you ask me. All the way up to the 36. He was down by contact to the 35. So 1st and 10 now at the 36. They gave him a yard. 3:04 on the clock here, and the Eagles quickly going to be running out of time, though they do have 2 timeouts remaining. 9-7 is the score. 5 receiver spread here. Empty set for Coleman. Coleman in the pocket, fires and dropped pass. So stops the clock for now. Jevin Dorsey, intended receiver, probably wants that one back as well. Clock is stopped at 2:48. The Eagles looking at 3/4 of the field to cross now. They've started on their own doorstep at the 2-yard line, so this would be a 98-yard drive. Coleman trying to do it himself, and he gets pancaked back at the line of scrimmage. We'll see. It's a 3rd down, and we'll see if he gets even a yard out of it. I don't think he did. And they'll mark, oh my gosh, they gave him a half yard, but what was that worth at this point? Clock is still running 2:30. Remember, no 2-minute warning here at the junior college level. 3 and 9, so 3rd and 9 coming up, and the defense of the Marauders with another opportunity to stop them here and give their offense a 2-minute drill practice session. Except this time it won't be practice, it will be the real deal. Trips receivers to the right, one to the left, and he fakes a handoff. Coleman looking downfield, trying to throw over the middle of the field, and almost throws another interception. And in the way was a guy who had another opportunity earlier. It was Cameron Carlisle, and he's going to want that one back. That was right off the chest pad of, or just right off of his pads in the chest area. And we'll have the punting unit back out on the field for Mount San Jacinto. And Reese is back out on the field for the Marauders. 2:03 is what will be stopped on the clock. Barring no penalties, this should be a good opportunity for the Marauders to have a chance again to score right before halftime. Calling for the fair catch, Reese takes it around his own 26. So the Marauders with a big task here, and Hinton going to have to do something to change some stuff up. We will see how this shakes out. It'll be interesting to see who they have in at running back again. Last drive, It was Q Allen, but Bankhead back into the game. So Allen out, Bankhead in. I want a correction really quick. So Tajim Brown, who was wearing 15, is now wearing number 8. So he's our near side receiver, at least on the right side, out of the slot there. Hinton throwing right side, hits Brown. And Brown able to get a little bit of a gain as he jumps out of bounds. I'll stop the clock as we are under 2 minutes. So 1:52 here left to go, and that's a nice little 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 coming up. Two receivers near side and 2 far side. They'll continue with that normal 24 personnel spread. About as traditional as it gets. Hinton out of the gun. Looking to throw here on 2nd down. Chooses to keep it. Runs near side and tries to side sling it, but that was a football into the ground. 3rd down and long coming up. 1:47 on the clock. And at this point, you got to figure maybe some time to burn off the clock or get that 1st down. 3rd down has been the question mark, and I'm going to be interested to see, and I'll come back with you guys at least before halftime with that stat of how many 3rd down conversions they've been able to complete. My immediate assumption is that they haven't done very well on 3rd down. Regardless, here we go. 3rd down, a big 3rd down here late in the first half. 1:47 on the clock. Hinton, under pressure, he's going to be hit and brought down, and the football might have come out, but I think he got it back. And it'll be 4th down, and the punting unit is going to come out on the field here for the Marauders. Clock will continue to run. We'll see if the Eagles choose to call a timeout here. It would be an opportunity to maybe get the football back in good field position with some time on the clock. John Henderson with a big task. They did have one muffed snap last week. And this will be a very important punt. Henderson already pinning the Eagles, and there's going to be a timeout called, but that was a little bit late. 1:04 now, leaving almost 64, leaving 64 seconds on the clock here. This is going to be an interesting one for the Eagles to see how this will work itself out. We'll see in just a moment. I'm not entirely sure who called it. I believe it was the Eagles who called the timeout. But we'll take a quick break for ourselves. You're watching Marauder Football on the Coast Sports Network and SoCal College Sports. We'll see you in just a moment. Well, a huge punt that has to be executed here by the Marauders and an opportunity for the Eagles if they get the football back in good field position. Henderson's done a pretty good job of pinning the Eagles so far tonight. His long punt on the season is 47 yards. This is a long one as well. We have multiple flags out on the field, and making the return, and a long return at that right now, is Matthew Caldra, but there are plenty of flags back where the returner started. So we'll figure this out. I'm not exactly sure what kind of flag would come out in the backfield like that. But it might be a re-kick, and I see the referees pointing in the direction of the end zone that would represent the Eagles. So potentially a penalty that would put the special teams unit back out on the field. But what do we have here? I think I see the offense of the Marauders getting back ready to go. I'm not entirely sure what penalty just occurred. However, 52 seconds are what remains on the clock. We'll see where they move the football. I believe that's still the normal offense out here for the Marauders as well. I see Reese is out there. Hinton is out there on the field, and Bankhead. All right, this is the offense coming out on the field, and a penalty brings it all the way up to the 38-yard line. So 1st and 10 with 52 seconds to go. They would have to make their way 62 yards down the field in order to get to the sweet nectar of the end zone. 52 seconds remaining. 4 receivers out for the Marauders. Bankhead to the left of Hinton. Hinton throwing here on 1st down, throws long, and he's going to throw in the direction of a safety. Check that cornerback, and that's going to be an interception and bringing it all the way up to the 40-yard line. That is not how you want to start out that drive. So an interception will put the football in the Eagles' hands at what we'll call is the 41-yard line, and that's an interception by Karsten Mamrell. Defensive back. I called him a safety. He is a cornerback or defensive back. So from the 41, they'll have 41.1 seconds here to go in the first half. And we'll have a flag out on the field because, of course, we do. And this one's on the far sideline. It looks like a Marauder player is tied up or was tied up with the sideline of the Eagles. And you see Eagles coaches waving their hands around telling their line to get back and off the field. And I'm hearing from the announcer booth that this is going to be against the Marauders, and so that will be most likely a 15-yard penalty that will be assessed from the line of scrimmage. Or not. The football has not been picked up, and this has been an interesting night in terms of the referees conferring on how they're going to deal with penalties, but the defensive line looks like it's lining up right around the 41. My question would be, is this a penalty that will bar yards in a penalty? And it should, to my understanding. Here we go. The football's going to move. See the white hat referee pointing in the direction of the Marauders' end zone. Football is placed back down on the ground. And this will be a very strange So, okay, now they have now sorted out the issues. It's going to be a dead ball penalty or foul against both teams. And that will just offset the penalty. There will be no yards in return, but that is a warning to both players. So that sorts out the laundry. We are now back into playing this game. And just when I thought we were going to have a very quick ending to this first half, we do not. Trips to the right, one to the left. Coleman running out of time. He's moving towards the far sideline, throws a dart towards the end zone and overthrows his receiver, and that was a very good attempt towards Emilio Valencia, and he threw an absolute BB of a pass. But Valencia not fast enough to get to the end zone in time. 2nd down and 10 coming up from the 41, 32.6. So only 8 seconds bled off the clock at this point. And this is just a weird amount of time to have left. If all things hold correctly, the Marauders would probably get the football back with 15 to 10 seconds remaining on the clock. However, that is barring the Marauders holding strong here on defense. Puts the back in motion, throws over to the near side. McGee trying to make a move. He bounces off one tackle, and he makes another move with a gain of 3 yards down to the 41-yard line. That's where they'll mark him down. And we will hear a whistle, 21.6 here on the clock. And I believe that was Mount San Jacinto calling that timeout just to stop the clock with 21.6, maybe give their kicker an opportunity as 3rd down and 7 is now coming up. But this has been a very entertaining first half despite the scoreline only being 7-9. You've seen teams go all the way down the field, turn the football over, or not be able to convert a lot of points. One missed field goal for San Jacinto, and one missed extra point, which is where you get that 9 score line. And if you were just coming into the broadcast to meet us, we're happy to have you, but we're close to halftime as it stands. But nonetheless, 3rd and now. They'll mark it 6. I think the scoreboard operator has it wrong. And my eyes aren't too bad. I see 7 yards. So I'm going to make the official, unofficial determination. We're going to change our scoreboard to 3rd and 7 because that is the actual yardage. They are wrong, and I know they're wrong. Thank you so much. Yeah, that last time I checked. If they're 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, that would mean the 7 yards to go. I don't know. Line to gain will be the 31-yard line. They're standing on the 38. It's been a while since I've been out of college, but I do know how to subtract. Split back. This has been relatively good for the Eagles so far tonight. Lots of time to throw. Hinton throws a pass, and he does make the catch. It'll be a first down and out of bounds for the receiver, Taylor Tosches, but there is a flag in the backfield, and we'll see what the flag is for. And it's going to probably be against – it's going to most likely – and it was against the Eagles for holding, so that's a 10-yard penalty, and we're going to move the football way back. And 17.1 seconds is what remains in this first half, and this should be a good opportunity for the Marauders to get off the field pending no super long third down plays. You just want to prevent almost a tragedy happening at this point. And if I can say anything about the defense of the Marauders tonight, they have been able to hold off wave after wave of offensive attack here from the Eagles. Ball will be placed on the 48-yard line, and we will see how the remainder of this first half ends up right here. It all comes down to one snap. Coleman rolling near side. He's under pressure, working his way in, throws and finds a receiver on the near side. We'll see if he had the catch, but it's going to be 4th down and something regardless. So they have the catch down to the 37-yard line. Making the catch was Tosches. Or Tosches. The PA announcer has a different enunciation than me. That's always a scary moment. So 4th and 6 coming up here. See, I was right. This is 4th and 6. The real 4th and 6. Snap is off and a short little pooch punt, and that's going to be picked up and returned. What a good job of heads up on the defense. And where they're returning it all the way back, and he has a lane, is Dejon Sanders. Sanders all the way down, no time on the board, but what a heck of a heads up play, and almost a touchdown here at the end. But I have a flag. I have a hat up, which usually means an ejection. I got to see what's going on here. And that's going to do it for the first half here. But the referees are going to have to figure out what's going on. So the half is over for the teams. However, there's still something to sort out. And again, the hat off a referee's head usually indicates a player who has been ejected. And we see the coaching staff of the Marauders fired up. And it might be offsetting penalties. I'm not entirely sure. We'll hear from the PA announcer in a moment. Well, regardless, offsetting penalties. Antelope Valley College 7, Mount San Jacinto College 9. And that was an interesting first half, to say the least. We'll come back with halftime stats in just a few moments. You're watching the Coast Sports Network and SoCal College coverage of Marauder football here live at Marauder Stadium. We'll see you in a few moments, everybody. And we return here in the third quarter of action. The Marauders set to receive the kickoff, and now you have to understand after the first half, there was a couple penalties that occurred, and this will place the football on the 50-yard line. So a long kick way through the back of the end zone. Reese, no shot on returning it here. And we will have a brand new third quarter coming up. So 7-9 is the score. We had an interesting first half, to say the least. Lots of action, both sides, both teams making some mistakes, both teams doing some things well. Now, the Marauders only able to score one touchdown, and they have been in the opportunity area a number of times. Hinton will be back out on the field. Now, third down efficiency was 1 of 7 for the Marauders during this first half. Bankhead takes a ball is marked down. There are whistles before anybody gets concerned. There are whistles marking the ball down. Bankhead gets hit pretty hard there early on, and he's going to be out, and we're going to see Q Allen out onto the field to take his place for now. He got hit pretty hard there. A gain of 2 yards was what he was able to get out of that. Trips to the right side, 1 to the left. Hinton with Allen to his right. 2nd and 7 coming up. Hinton in the pocket, under pressure immediately, throws over the middle, and there was nobody home. I mean, that was in the area of Tajim Brown, but really not that great. But what we'll say is, I checked that. I was incorrect. 1 of 7 was Mount San Jacinto on third down. They were 1 for 1 on fourth down, but Antelope Valley was 0 for 3 on third down. And that was the big storyline there. They had a couple big opportunities where they needed to convert on third down, and they were not able to, and it was 3 important drives where they were getting down the field. Hinton, under pressure, steps in, bounces out. He's rolling towards the far side, looking to throw, and he does across his body, and that's almost intercepted, or is it? And it's going to be an incomplete pass, fourth down coming up, and that was ill-advised. He threw across his body. You never want to throw across your body when you're rolling to the outside of the field. So turnover on downs, 14-15 on the clock here. And we will see the Marauders special teams unit out onto the field for the first time in the second half. 27, Matthew Caldera out to return the punt here. That was enough to make your stomach turn for our first drive here if you're a Marauders fan. Caldera returned to football for 20 yards, and he's hit immediately and brought down. And a great job on special teams here are the Marauders, so they're at least able to make some positives out of this situation. Punt is up, and just a beautiful job. Doesn't call for the fair catch, and just streaking through on special teams. It was Dale Sills. Well, if there's any positive from that drive, that special teams play was executed as well as it can go. Robert Coleman will have split backs with him this time. They were pretty successful in the first half running this formation. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to the right on the near side that's short. Puts a man in motion, and they hand it off immediately. And hit right there at the line is McGee, and McGee's able to fight for a couple yards, but he's pancaked by a number of guys on the defensive line here, and the linebackers just getting in on the fun for the Marauders. 13:57 on the clock, and we are now well underway here in the third quarter. So keys to the game here for the Marauders will be converting anything on third down and just being able to drive the football down the field and not stall. If you're the Eagles, it's taking advantage of these bad opportunities, or these opportunities that have been given to you. Throwing here on second down and making a move towards the outside is going to be Tosh's. He had a pretty eventful first half. Tosh's with 4 receptions for 40 yards. So average 10 yards of reception and had a long of 11. Did a pretty good job. He's right back into it with a first down all the way down to the 42-yard line. Check that, 43. Line of gain will be the 47 of the Marauders. Split back formation, go to put a man in motion. That was almost a false start there. Another man in motion. Hands it off here on first down. McGee, lot of room to run, and he stays on his feet. He's running down the near sideline, and he's fighting off a man, and it does a stiff arm, and he's down all the way into the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Eagles. First drive is a touchdown, and that was, well, a pretty impressive first drive for the Eagles, making some adjustments. That's stiff arm for McGee. The difference maker there. 15-7. And they did have a little bit of trouble tonight on the extra point. First touchdown they scored. Extra point up and good. 16-7, and we head to the next Marauder possession. You're watching Marauders football on the Coast Sports Network alongside with SoCal College Sports. We'll see you in just a few moments. And we are back. So the first offensive possession here for the Eagles turns into positive points. And the defense going to have to come up with some adjustments here. And another kick through the end zone, and that will be a touchback. But the football on the 25, and the Marauders will have their second opportunity early on here in the third quarter. As I did say, we were well underway, but I maybe spoken too soon. 12:48 here to go. And we will hopefully be able to see some offensive trend here for the Marauders. Hinton and company back out on the field. Three receivers stacked there on the right side, and they're going to hand it off immediately and going nowhere. I think it's Q Allen. I have yet to see a number. Give me 1 second. No, Bankhead is back out on the field. So he was roughed up a little bit there on that first series, but he went nowhere back up to the line of scrimmage. Reese in motion. Hinton out of the gun, hands it off. Bankhead hit well behind the line of scrimmage, and that is a loss of yards. Loss of 5, in fact, on the play back to the 20-yard line. 3rd and 15 coming up. So 3rd and long coming up, and another disaster potentially of a series for the Marauder offense. Trips to the right, one to the left. Bankhead still out there. Hinton firing right side. Has Reese open in space. He's going to be hit. One stays on his feet. Does he have enough room? No, he gets pummeled from behind. And we'll go ahead and watch that again. That was rough. Reese able to make a great catch in open space. Turns around, defenders kind of wave off of him. Hinton able to do a good job, and he gets hit from behind real hard. And here comes the punting unit, so a good opportunity to potentially get a first down, but the punting unit is out on the field. That was at least one positive play. Antelope Valley not out first downing Mount San Jacinto. San Jacinto 15 first downs in the first half, Antelope Valley 10. Henderson out to punt. Caldera calling for the fair catch. He didn't want to get smashed like he did the last time. We got players diving all over the place there around the 20, will mark at 23-yard line. And the Eagles will take over again. Coleman, 183 yards in the first half through there. Did most of the work with his arm. That's not a bad first half if you're the quarterback. No interceptions, 1 touchdown. Hinton only 18 yards through the air, which is not a stat you want to see in that first half. Jalen McGee, the man with the touchdown just a few moments ago, ball carrier early on. So 2nd and now 6 coming up. Check that, it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 28-yard line. .10-12 on the clock. Here we go. Low snap, handled, picked up by, and there's a flag out, but it's going to be picked up by McGee. McGee fighting for yards, and I'm thinking there's going to be a hold back there. And stop everything. We do have a down Marauder. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Do we have a second? We do have a second angle, so we're going to watch this for a second. I don't think the football came. Oh, it did. The football did come out, but it might have been after the whistle was blown. No, it was not. This might be a turnover on downs, and I think it was, because let's watch this one more time. You see McGee fighting for yards, and then the football should get stripped out, and I don't know why there would be a whistle, and there wouldn't be. Football is down on the ground and is picked up by the Marauders, so that's it. The Marauders able to get the football back in really good territory. Great field position coming up here for the Marauders. I mean, you can't help but be happy about that. .9:58 on the clock, and Hinton has an opportunity. He's right on the doorstep. Out of the pistol, hands it off. Q Allen fighting for yards out of the snap, and he's going to have a good, solid run to start things off all the way down to the 21. Yeah, that's where they're going to mark it. 21-yard line, there's another flag out on the field, so. We'll give him a second. I'm going to take a step away from the booth for a moment. I'll be right back. I apologize for the brief little break there. And oh, Q Allen just trips himself up. He had a good line of space right there in front of him. So second, or check that, 3rd and now 5 coming up. He had a lot of room in front of him, and you could tell he's frustrated about that. 3rd down and 5 coming up. This is an important down here for the Marauders. Hands it off again. Q Allen breaks through a tackle. He's going to have a flag down on the ground, but that was a powerful run. Well, I see a helmet come off. And I want to know if there's a face mask call. We'll see here. Personal foul. There's going to be, yep, a face mask against the Marauders. That is a tough, tough break on 3rd down. They had the first down. We'll go ahead and watch that again. And that's usually what happens after someone's helmet comes flying off. So it's going to be a big penalty at that. 3rd and now 19 coming up. And this is going to be a huge opportunity potentially lost here. Q Allen still in as running back. Short toss towards the near side, and he's going to be hit and wrapped up. Robert James had nowhere to go. And are we going to see a 4th down attempt here? Potentially. Nope. We will see John Henderson out on the field. This will be his season long. 51 yards coming up here, and this is a huge kick if he can nail it. Kick is up, and that's going to be well short. Well, that'll be a turnover on downs. John Henderson not really able to do much with it there. 51 yards is a long ass, but it didn't look like he had a really good kick out of it. It might have been the setup. And the Marauders, who had a really good opportunity, back out on defense. 1st and 10 with 7:49 here to go. Hands it off on 1st down. Fighting for yards is McGee. We had a feeling he was going to be handling most of the snaps in this game, and he will continue to do that. Split backs again here for Coleman. 2 receivers to his right. Low snap, and he's going to be hit, and he's going to go down well behind the line of scrimmage, and that was a really bad situation. We're going to watch that back, and that was a great opportunity from the defensive line. Just watch this poor snap. And that was almost another fumble as the football goes down. Or should I say another fumble recovery here. Marauders should be happy with that one. 3rd and 10 now coming up from the 34-yard line. Line to gain will be the 44 of the Eagles. Coleman out of the split back to a 3 to the right, 1 to the left. 1 high safety here for the Marauders defense. Coleman trying to get the Marauders to step. Oh, gosh. He got him on the false snap. Just a little bit of hesitation there got the defensive line to jump off sides. That was a little bit of an issue last week against the Cougars of College of the Canyons. So 2nd and 5, or check that, 3rd and 5 now coming up. And that gives them a lot more breathing room for 3rd down. Trips to the right, 1 to the left. Once again, Coleman out of the gun, trying to catch the Marauders' defensive line off guard. They're not going for it this time. Calls for the snap, gets it, takes a 5-step draw, hits his receiver, and that's going to be their number 1 targeted guy tonight. That's Taylor Tosches. Talik Brown was targeted actually more times in the first half, but Tosches getting a lot of work tonight. So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Quarterback keeper here on first down, and Coleman's going to go nowhere. And here come the Eagles. 2nd and 7 coming up. Empty set here for Coleman. Coleman throwing quickly here, and he has an open receiver. And Valencia with a long catch and run. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. And the Eagles making quick work here in the third quarter once again. 4:33 on the clock. And it seems like the Marauders' defense is now just struggling to keep up pace. They've done such a good job tonight, it's hard to even imagine that they are going to be asked to do a lot more. Another empty set, throw over towards the right side to Leek Brown. With the catch. And we do have a little bit of a treat here for Marauder fans. Dr. Jennifer Zillette, the superintendent and president of Antelope Valley College, will be coming onto our broadcast in just a few moments, so we have that to look forward to. Coleman running for his life, coming towards the near side. He's going to be working his way all the way down to the 10-yard line. He's going to have another first down. I mean, what can you say? .326 on the clock. Another empty set situation here. Eagles kind of have found a groove, at least on the second half of the field here. Trying to get the offsides call. They do. Throw free play towards the outside, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. And there's going to be an appeal for a pass interference penalty called on the end of the end zone. Nonetheless, they will have the free play called. So incomplete pass from the 11-yard line down to the 6. So it'll be 1st and 5 from the 6-yard line. If they can't get all the way to the goal line, they will have an opportunity from the 1. And that's another touchdown for the Eagles. Into the end zone is Emilio Valencia, and he's done a lot of the work here in the third quarter. So not much the Marauders were going to be able to do about that, and they'll have an opportunity to kick the extra point for Nathaniel Pedersen. And I want to have an opportunity to welcome into the booth Dr. Jennifer Zillette for the superintendent and president of Antelope Valley College. Is that correct?
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. Well, happy to have you on, and I will get your name graphic up there really quick. There we go. And brand new, should I say, president and superintendent. So how does, for Antelope Valley College, obviously I came from the junior college level myself, and working your way up through the administration and working with all these students and administrators, this is pretty awesome that you're going to have an opportunity to affect change. What are some of the things that you're going to plan on doing in your tenure here, hopefully, and with your opportunities as the president and superintendent?
Well, thank you. And this is great to be here. It's a beautiful night. Oh, my goodness. I thought the rain for a nice change instead of the heat. It's beautiful. It's
right.
A beautiful night out. So, yeah, it's a great question. I'm new. Right now, my learning curve is huge, and I'm learning all about the college, and I'm learning about the different programs. And really my job at this point is to help support everything that's well underway, athletics is always a backbone of every college, and all throughout my career I've been very invested in making sure that our student athletes are successful. When I was teaching, I always had classes full of student athletes and really enjoyed working with them. When I was vice president of instruction, set up programs where we could work together, learning communities and tutoring and things like that to support them, because really they have a very, very hard job. They're working on the field, on the court, whatever their sport is, and they're also trying to go to school. So, it's a big deal for them, and it's a big deal for the college for us to be able to support them. So, as I look to the future, I hope to be here for a long time, and I hope to just help see the plans that are well underway coming to fruition. And I'm really, really enjoying being here. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, of course. Well, and so just a little background for me. I went to Moore Park College. I was there for 3 years, played college baseball. That's where I started my college career. That's how I got into broadcasting. That's how I found the opportunity to be able to do this kind of stuff. And, it's always amazing to see programs like Antelope Valley College doing great things for their student athletes, allowing them to have many opportunities and be able to pursue dreams that they never might have thought beforehand were possible. And, that's one of the most important parts of my life at this point. I can't say enough good about this level of athletics for young men and young women to be able to come out and compete. So it's just awesome that you're going to have this opportunity to affect some change and keep things going the way that Antelope Valley has done things. Well, what courses did you teach when you're a professor?
So when I was a professor, I was an English teacher, so I taught writing and composition, but I also taught some lit courses and things like that. Also critical thinking and analysis. And so actually during some of those courses was when we had a lot of fun really kind of digging into yourself and analyzing how you think and, sort of turning your real world experiences into writing and things like that. And that's where I had a lot of fun with student athletes. There's a lot of Frank DeFord. If you read the back of Sports Illustrated, when he was writing, he always had those wonderful essays in the back of Sports Illustrated. We would read Frank DeFord because it's an amazing example of writing, but writing that athletes tend to be interested in, right?
Right, of course.
And they could relate to that, and then they could, perfect their skills, and those are transferable skills that they take wherever. So, it's as you say, junior colleges and community colleges are really important launching pad for student athletes for a whole host of reasons. And it could be that they go from here into a big career in their chosen sport, or it could be that they go from here and they pick up skills and they take, the skills of their sport into whatever profession they're going into. But either way, it's a really wonderful way to combine education and their athletic skills.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite classes I took in college was reading and composition, and that was the first course I took at Moore Park, and it taught me a whole new perspective on how to think about things critically and how to do all these different things when it comes to writing, and it really helped me with the journalism side of broadcasting and everything. Meanwhile, I do have to catch people up. So we have a holding penalty against the Eagles here after the punt from John Henderson. So these are going to be enforced, and we will see the Eagles offense come back out of the field. Third quarter, a little bit rough here for the Marauders, 1:27 on the clock. And we'll see Coleman lead his offense back out onto the field here for the Eagles. Working your way up through the different levels of the administration and getting to this level, I mean, it's an awesome opportunity. Do you have any intentions on setting up programs for student athletes to maybe move forward in different career paths, maybe related to sports or business? Do you have any ideas like that, or?
There's so much opportunity, like you say, and really, the job of somebody like me is to support the ideas of the coaches and the faculty, and so, and maybe get together in those sort of brainstorming sessions and, ping ideas off of each other and develop them into something really cool. So I'm always open to those kinds of idea gathering sessions, and I love as I've gotten into different levels of administration, I feel like I'm radar on MASH. I'm standing here with my clipboard. What do you need, right? And I go out and I get you what you need so that your program can be successful. And so I really just want to support the coaches and the faculty as they're working with their student athletes. And if there's something out there to develop to help them, then let's see what we can do to make it happen.
it reminds me, so at my time at Moore Park, really quick, holding penalty against the Eagles will bring the football back to the 16-yard line. So they'll be set up first and now 20 from the 16. Throwing here on first down, incomplete pass here for Coleman. Reminds me of my time at Moore Park College. I had an opportunity to get the television department and the journalism department to actually work together for something that I was particularly interested in, which was sports.
Nice.
And, being a college baseball player, I worked for the football team at Moore Park College, and I ended up meeting with every single person in the chain of command, and then I had an opportunity to meet with the president of the school. And it was a conversation that I had with the president of the school that actually kind of changed my whole trajectory in this career path and in this field. And, I can't emphasize enough to the viewers online and anybody who's listening to this, in the future potentially, of how important it is to go out and try to make your dreams come true in these situations. Great pass and catch over the top and finally brought down for Emilio Valencia. He's been a very big and important part of this second half here for the Eagles. First down coming up here all the way down to the 45 of the Marauders. And I had this conversation with the president. He was the guy who signed on the dotted line and basically allowed a whole internship program to occur at my school to get these to get a broadcasting program going for the football department, for the football team, for the women's volleyball team, for the basketball team, and we were able to get students from all different departments real world experience doing this stuff on a regular basis. And I just can't be more happy. Oh my goodness, up and over and a great tackle. We're going to go ahead and watch this back again. This is a heck of a job on defense here for the Marauders in a night that's had in a second half that's been a little bit rough here for the defense of the Marauders. They've been out on the field a lot. A great job. Tackle trying to go up and over was Jalen McGee, but he was met by Dejon Sanders, who was able to put a tackle down on him and, stops him after only 1 yard of gain. So 2nd and 9 coming up, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. And we could keep it right here for a second.
Sure.
I wanted you to finish that thought there, because we were talking just again about student athletes, but also the other students. And that's a big thing, is I feel like there's a big disparity between kids who are going to school and what goes on in the athletics programs, especially at the junior college level. If you look back in the 90s, football stadiums were packed. College basketball stadiums were packed because this is the place to be and things to do. And I think it's important for kids to realize that they can still be involved, and it does actually matter. So I will always be inspired by that conversation and those conversations I had with all the deans and all the president of the school, and just allowing a program like that to occur. And I'm hoping more or less, if you hear us talking on this broadcast right now, you can actually go out and talk to your people if you have something that you're dreaming of and want to make happen. And I'm guessing you have the same opinion based on our conversation right now. So, do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to say to anybody?
I just want to thank the community for welcoming me and inviting me to be a part of Antelope Valley College. This is a wonderful place to be, and we are so excited. When school started 4 weeks ago and we saw the parking lots full, our enrollments are up, our attendance is up, everything is looking so good. And I'm very excited to be a part of all of this, and I just invite everyone to stay involved in the college. It's the community's college, and this is a place where we're committed to service. We want to serve our students, we want to serve our community, and we want to bring back that kindness that kind of got lost for a while.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about community and, having everybody, be able to meet and hang out and have a good time and, enjoy a football game on a Saturday night. A great toss and catch. Going all the way downfield and into the end zone, and that's going to be another touchdown. Matthew Caldera all the way down, but there are multiple flags down. I'm going to mark that around the 30, and you see a whole bunch of Eagles players standing there, and I think there might be a hold in that area, which for the benefit of the Marauders here may be a good thing. We'll see. Dr. Zlett, thank you so much for coming on the broadcast. Do you have anything else or any?
No, just
hello,
go Marauders.
Mom?
Go Marauders.
Go Marauders.
Let's take this.
Yeah,
All
awesome.
right,
well, thank you so much. Well, hold on. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Well, we are back to broadcasting football. So we're here in the fourth quarter, of course, and Dr. Zlett is stepping out of the broadcast booth, and I thank her for her time. Again, guys, if you are listening and you have any types of dreams or classes that you want to take, the junior college level is the place to be and the place to take courses and be able to learn certain things. And AVC is just an excellent place to go do all of these things. But we have football to cover, and here go the Eagles. The ball was brought back to the 45-yard line. It'll be now 3rd and 10 coming up. So a great catch and run, but that will be negated as Matthew Caldera was aided by the help of his teammates. So the hold penalty will keep them from scoring any more. So 7-23. 7-23 is the score as it stands. 14:45 to go. Coleman out of the gun. Time to throw, but he's running towards the near sideline. Running out of space. He's being pursued right now. Throws it over and finds an open receiver, and that was an unbelievable chance to catch the football for Matthew Caldera. Again, check that. That was Michael Carney, who's been the extra back in the field in the split back position, and another 3rd down conversion. Gosh, this is just an unfortunate series of events. Multiple 3rd down opportunities, and they have been able to convert time and time again. So 1st and 10 from the 34. 24 will be the line to gain. Clock is running. Split back formation here. And Michael Carney, he has been waiting all game to get involved in the action. Handoff here. Carney again, working his way outside. He's going to be hit and gang tackled by a couple guys. Only a gain of 1, really, on the play. Actually, he might not have even had anything. There's going to be no gain on the play whatsoever. Split backs again. 2 receivers to the right. Puts a man in motion. Fakes the handoff. Throws over to Brown. Brown along the outside trying to find some more room, and he's not going to find it. He's going to be pushed out of bounds with only a gain of about 4 yards. Check that, mark that 3. .12:47 on the clock, and clock going to become a factor here in the 4th quarter. Marauders desperately trying to make a stand here on defense. Coleman looking to throw here and was able to split the difference and find a receiver. And Roland Hazard, I believe, was the man to receive the football. It was Emilio Valencia. And the Eagles are steadily working their way down the field once again. From the 22-yard line, clock has slipped under 12. Split backs again. Valencia in motion. He's in the slot. Handoff again. Fighting off a tackle, but he's going to be hit at the line and brought down as Michael Carney. Marauders defense is doing everything they can to stop this. The push here from the Eagles. Seems like the Eagles have one big breakout play every single series. Split backs again. Matthew Caldera. Is back out on the field with Jalen McGee. McGee in motion towards the far side. Coleman under pressure. No flag out. And that should have been a flag. I'm going to be honest. We can watch this back again. But from this angle, you'll watch. Edge rusher's coming in, and he's just pushed over. That's from the backside and kind of tripped up. One would argue that's kind of a penalty. We do have a Marauder player down at this time, so we're going to go ahead and step away for a moment. We'll be right back. So Miles Cooney gets up a little bit shaken from the last play. He was down for a little bit, but he's walking out on his own power, so that hopefully will spell something positive. But Cooney has been one of the leading forces there in the linebacker core for the Marauders, so hoping that he is okay. But we have football to get back to. 3rd and 10 now, another big defensive situation here for the Marauders. Eagles, split back formation, 3 receivers out here for Coleman. Coleman puts a man in motion. Immediately in his read, looking over the middle of the field, trying to fire towards the end zone, and Brown jumps up and catches it. And that's another touchdown. You just watch through that first read, and that football is up and over, and Brown just does a great job of bringing it in, coming back down. So the Eagles, 29-7, barring the extra point. And that is no good. More struggles. More struggles here for the extra point. Let's see if we can follow that from the backside. Hold is good, and he just misses. Does not get it. That is right past the right upright. (29-7) is the scoreline. The Marauders have not been able to score past the first quarter. So there was a penalty at some point during the touchdown or during the kick. This will place the football back down to the 20-yard line. So a great opportunity for Reese to maybe return. So Nathaniel Peterson will be kicking off from the 20-yard line. Kieran Benz and Robinson Reese still back. Benz has not had many returns between this week and last week. I think he had one last week. Reese has been the primary focus. 10:42 on the clock, and here comes the kickoff from the 20-yard line. This will be short. Reese picks up the football, and it'll be he caught it out of bounds. So flag will be down. We'll see where they spot. The football should be the 40-yard line. Then it'll be 1st and 10 right here. 10:40 on the clock. AVC 7, San Jacinto 29. And they have a lot of work to do with only 10 minutes remaining. The clock quickly becoming the enemy of the people here. And it looks like Warren Darius is out on the field, and he threw a touchdown pass last week. He was 5 for 5 in completed and attempted passes. Had 53 yards, 1 touchdown, and a long of 28 yards. And this will put the football all the way down to the 50-yard line. So 50-yard line is where they are going to start. 50 yards to go. Darius out on the field for the first time tonight. It looks like Q Allen is the running back on the field. Darius throwing on first down. And immediately gets it out to Tajim Brown. Tajim Brown was on the outside there. And there is something weird about this ABC team. They seem to be a little bit more springy, have a little bit more energy when Darius is out on the field. 2-by-2 receiver spread. Darius looking to throw here, escapes, runs through the middle of the pocket. He does a little fake move, and he runs all the way down to the first down marker. That's a first down, and the Marauders are moving the football here late in this football game. 10:02 on the clock. We are just under 10 minutes now. Moving quickly, 2-by-2 spread again. Darius looking to throw on first down, throwing towards the right side. He finds an open receiver and is throwing well over the head of Iverson Daniels. So it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up from the 39-yard line. Clock is stopped. Again, that is the big enemy of the Marauders here. They have a lot of time to make up, or a lot of points to make up if they want to have a chance here late in this football game. Darius. Q Allen beside him. Allen working out to the right side. Darius tucks it, throws it near the line of scrimmage, and throws it away. It was in the direction of Kayron Benz, but Iverson Daniels had his hands on his head. He was wide open there on the near side. So 3rd and 10 coming up here from the 9. 39-yard line, that is. Out of the pistol this time. Darius hands it off. Q Allen stood up at the line, and he's going to be tackled. No gain on the play. 4th down coming up. 9:34 on the clock, and here comes the punting unit. Punting unit out on the field. Still Matthew Caldera out to return. 9:10 now on the clock. Marauders missing 1 man on personnel. Have that sorted out. Low snap on the long snap, but punt is away, and it looks like a good one. And it takes a Marauders bounce. That was a beautiful punt. I mean, if anything, we've learned that John Henderson can pin them deep. Great job from the special teams unit of the Marauders. We'll be back in a few moments. And we'll be back in a few moments. You're watching Marauder football on SoCal College Sports. All right, we are back. Eagles pinned deep in their own end zone. Handoff here on first down, and a great run coming here by Jalen McGee. He's able to get a lot of yards out of this. It looks like 6-yard or 7-yard run. That'll be 7-yard run here on first down all the way down to the 10-yard line. From the 3 to the 10. 2nd and 3 coming up. In the pistol formation. Bunch receivers on the slot on the right side. They hand it off again, trying to find more running room for McGee. McGee finding a hole. He's running with men tackled on top of him, and he's going to make it all the way down to the 24-yard line. 8:01 on the clock. Stop for now. Once they place the football down, the clock will be back into motion, and they're so 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Coleman in the gun again. And they are going to be handing the football off over and over and over again. Here comes Jalen McGee once again. Long run, probably 6 yards. 7:28 ticking down. And this drive will be purely a clock burner. Check that. We're going to have a couple things reorganized. There's a flag down for holding. So that's going to bring it back. It'll be 1st down. So the ball will be placed on the 15-yard line. It'll be now 1st and 19. Actually, I don't know what a 9-yard penalty is going to be here. I don't know. It's supposed to be 1st and 20. They placed the ball in the wrong spot. Handoff again. McGee fighting through the second layer of coverage, and there's another flag down on the ground. And we have another Marauder player down on the ground. Quickly back up. Probably another holding penalty, given the location, but we'll see. Wait for the confirmation. Yeah, it's going to be holding against the Eagles, so another 10-yard penalty. This is backing them all the way up to the 5-yard line, so we'll go 1st down and a quarter of the field. Check that, 1st down and over a quarter of the field now. Be half the distance to the goal line, so to the 7. Line to gain will still be the 34 from, well, they said the 7. It's actually on the 8. And that is a false start penalty, so another 5-yard penalty. Coming here. Not exactly sure what the strategy here is. 6:20 on the clock. It's stuck. Has not moved one bit. But that'll move the ball half the distance to the goal line at this point. Down to the 4-yard line. Clock is now running, 6:13, rolling clock. I don't know if this is a clock burning strategy. Coleman, deep in his own end zone, fires. Hits Caldera. Caldera not really going anywhere with it. He had a small gain. So now 2nd and a quarter of the field to go. So 2nd and 26 coming up. 20 seconds here on the play clock, 5:26 on the clock, and it looks like they're trying to burn time, and we have a player down for the Marauders. .5:15 is what's on the clock now. We have all the trainers running for the field. Up. off the turf is Deshaun Sanders. I'm not entirely sure if that was to stop the clock. This has been a very strange last couple minutes, given how many penalties have been called against the Eagles and then the injured player on the ground of Sanders. But we will resume play, hopefully in a second here, with no penalties. Split back formation. Coleman, right on the edge of his end zone, fires, hits a receiver, and that's a huge catch and grab. Be all the way up to almost the original line of scrimmage around the 22-yard line. Made it all the way up to the 23, so now 3rd and 11 coming up, and that's manageable given what the last couple of minutes have kind of transpired with. 4:44 on the clock, and again, the enemy is the clock, and time is quickly moving away. Coleman split backs again. 2 receivers on the near side in the slot, 1 on the outside. Splits another man out wide. Looking over the middle of the field again, tosses, and that was in the area of Marauder safety, Jalen Williams. So 4th down coming up, and here comes the punting unit of the Eagles. 4:25 on the clock. So technically 3 scores away. ABC has to score a touchdown 3 times in 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Tough task, especially with how the offense has been working tonight. Punt is up and good. Reese, as return, it's out of bounds around the 48-yard line of the Marauders. So the offense will be back out on the field in a moment, and we'll take a break in here on SoCal College Sports, coverage of Marauder football. And we're back. Darius out of the gun, looking to throw here on 1st down. Throws far down the far sideline, and it's batted down and away. Oh, that was a good opportunity, and that was just totally messed up by the defensive back there. Let's see if we have this on replay. That was almost a really beautiful up and over catch. And he had the football. It was just punched out there at the last second. Trips right. Running back to the right side as well. They're on the far side hash. Darius looking right side. He has Reese open. Reese has the football. He's inside and he's out of bounds around the 15. Throwing here on 1st down. Reese again with the football. He cuts inside. He makes another move, and he's down and brought down around the 7. We'll mark him down at the 8. 3:47. I mean, shoot, if there's any way to believe at this point, this is the time. Darius moving the football here for the Marauders. Hands it off. Hit hard at the line. Brought down. It looks like Jackson Marshall, I believe, the running back. That would be his first snap of the football season. There's a timeout called by the Eagles. So timeout is called. We will be right back. are back. Fourth quarter action. Marauders on the doorstep, ready to rock and roll. Darius in the gun, trips receivers to the left, one to the right. Handle snap, looking to throw here. Throws towards the edge of the end zone. Oh! Does he make the catch? Does he make the catch? I'm not seeing an indication from the referee. And he does. It's a touchdown. Marauders, and that might be one of the best catches of the season. We'll watch it right here. One of the best catches I have seen in football altogether. Touchdown Marauders, and Reese comes up with a huge play. 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Marauders kicking the extra point, no good. 3:14. Let's watch that one more time. And I mean, come on now, Reese. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, we'll see what the Marauders choose to do here. Here comes the kickoff. And this is a short kick. The Eagles anticipating an onside, and they choose not to go with an onside kick. 3 minutes and 13 seconds, and does the defense have what it takes? First and 10 from the 20-yard line. 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Marauders defense with a big task here. This puts them 2 scores away. They have to convert 2-point conversions both times at this point, because 8 points would put them at 21. And 7 points would not be enough. They need 8 from 21 to make 29. So they need 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. Run play from McGee. McGee running towards the near side. He's brought down at the 24. They'll have him at the 24. That will give him a gain of 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming. 2:57 and counting down. Again, the clock, the enemy here of the Marauders. Do they have enough time for 2 scores? The clock will continue to dwindle down. Still 3 timeouts for the Marauders. Man in motion. Hands it off. McGee again up the middle. He's hitting the middle. He might be brought down, and he's going to have a little bit of a gain, 2 yards shy of the first down. Line to gain will be the 30. It's 1 yard. 3rd and 1 coming up here. This is it. 2 minutes. This is it. They have to come up with a stop here. 20 seconds on the play clock, so this is the most important play of the game for the defense as it stands. Coleman will have split backs, 2 receivers to the right, heavy man on the right side of the line. 4 defensive linemen up. Hands it off here on 3rd down. McGee's going to have it. Down to the 34. Clock will be stopped momentarily, but that's it. They have enough to do it, barring timeouts from the Marauders. We'll see if Coach wants to call it, but that pretty much would seal the deal. Given that I'm seeing no timeouts now, we are almost under 1 minute, and this could be over in 2 plays. So we'll start with our thank yous for right now. Tom Gang, Dean of Athletics here at Antelope Valley College. Byron Scott, Sports Information Director, all of Antelope Valley College Athletics. I want to extend a special thank you to President Dr. Jennifer Zillette for coming onto the broadcast a little bit earlier. And I want to extend a thank you to Mike Cepeda and the entire SoCal College sports team for giving us the opportunity to be able to broadcast Antelope Valley College sports and all the college sports you'll see around the 3C2A and SCFA this season. A tough one here for the Marauders. Another tough game, and this is going to be a good one. And it did not fail to disappoint. I will say, final couple thoughts here is that the Marauders have a lot of positives, again, to take from this. Another building block game, and that's going to do it here. Enough seconds on the play clock to keep this thing to the end, and the clock will tick down. Final score here at Marauder Stadium. Mount San Jacinto Eagles 29, ABC Marauders 13. I'm Emery Johnson here at Marauder Stadium signing off. Have a good night, everybody.